Hello, money queens and listeners. Welcome to Women Behind the Millions. Let's meet the women behind the millionaires, the women supporting, guiding, celebrating women with their wealth. You will hear from women millionaires, how they got there, what they wish they had known, what got them to be a millionaire, the emotional side, the spiritual side, the practical side of wealth. You'll also get to meet the women behind the scenes helping make it happen. Let's dive into Women Behind the Millions. I am Jessica Weaver, your host, bestselling author of 3 books, wealth advisor, and founder of the Women's Wealth Boutique. Let's start meeting the women. Welcome to Women Behind the Millions. I am your host, Jessica Weaver, and tonight's episode is all about divorce, ladies. I started to specialize in divorce, becoming a certified divorce financial analyst early in my career as a wealth advisor due to my grandmother's divorce. Now, this was her second divorce, and back then there weren't a lot of divorces like you see now. My grandmother was a very brilliant, career-driven woman. She had 2 TV shows, had an incredible career, and even she got duped by her ex-husband. She found out that he had several mistresses on the sides, putting them through college, Mercedes cars, and he funded that with her assets. Yes, he took her houses, put them in his name, and took out mortgages against them. So once she found this out, she got to work and hired her own team to surround her, to support her in getting a clean break where she made out financially okay for her new life. So tonight we have an incredible guest with us, Lisa Lisser. She is, listen to this, ladies, she is a certified divorce coach, ACDC divorce transition coach, divorce coaches academy conflicted co-parenting coach, pre-mediation divorce coach. She is also a certified spiritual counselor through the Elaine Breslow Institute. Lisa is committed to changing how the divorce process works and reducing divorce pain. She's a co-author of a new book, Divorce Decoded, a best-selling book by Pink Fix Productions. She also left a career as a commercial litigator in New York City to raise her 3 children and then turn her work into a passion career helping men and women navigate divorce. She writes in her chapter of Divorce Decoded, your guide on the side. And that's exactly what we need when we're going through a divorce. Like my grandmother, she needed a team to be built around her to help her get through this and get her money back and to have a nice, clean break in that divorce to set her up for her next piece of her life. Lisa is also Divorce Girls Smiling Trusted Professional. Can't wait to talk about that. She has a podcast, Dishing on Divorce, and she's a newly certified BEH2O parenting coach. So thank you, Lisa. That is quite a lot of alphabet soup behind your name.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank you for being on Women Behind Millions again, for being part of Divorce Decoded, helping women navigate divorce on their own terms.
Yeah.
As well. Lisa, what got you into the divorce landscape to begin with?
Well, I would have to say my own divorce. So I met my spouse when I was in college. We planned to grow up together, right? Like that was our vision. And life had different journeys for us. So much to my dismay, we needed to end our marriage. And after 3 children, after a lifetime together, building, and I was an educated person, I was smart, and yet I was not smart in divorce because I was a beginner. I was not an expert. And I felt lost. And so I made lots of mistakes. And I felt like there needed to be a better way. And as I pursued my careers post-divorce, which included a master's in education, I recognized that there were things that women could do that could shift their landscape. And so I heard about divorce coaches and I quickly jumped in and became certified. And that's how I sort of launched this new chapter, which I realized like seamlessly blended the legal, the educational, the spiritual all together so that I could be that guide on the side. And the guide on the side that I needed, that your grandma needed.
Yes. And it makes so much sense when you talk about the legal side, because that's a whole, if you haven't gone through divorce before, and even if you have, it might have changed.
Yes.
the whole dynamic, the cost of it changes as well. Adding in the spiritual side, adding in that more relationship focused,
Yeah.
heart-centered work is incredible. All of your life situations have brought you to this point, your experiences as well. Now, this certified BEH2O parenting coach, what is that about?
Yeah. So that is something I'm really excited about. So we we jump into marriage and we have kids, and we don't need a license to become parents, right? So you need a license to drive a car, but we don't need a license to become parents. And then when we become a divorced, unmarried couple, we don't know how to communicate. And the system that we had in our marriage didn't work. So what BEH2O helps us do is create a new operating system for your life as co-parents, which is going to move into your future for the rest of your lives because you have children together. So what we do in BEH2O is teach people how to approach co-parenting like a business. So if we were in a business together, we would make different kinds of decisions than we would make in our marriage. And so, what if our children's success and safeguarding their childhood and not letting them be victims of the process were actually the goal of the business? And that's what we do with the EH2O.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Incredible.
And what's really interesting is it's a workshop for both parties. And it works in really high conflict divorce where you don't even want to be in the same room. But if you can commit to being in the same room for the benefit of your kids, then you're going to see such a dramatic change in how you experience the divorce, how your kids experience it, and how you experience the rest of your life. Because once you learn new communication techniques, it changes everything.
Yes.
So that's what BEH2O is.
And my mind immediately went to the high conflict divorces.
Yes.
And a lot of times, divorce, that's a big pain point, are the children and raising them.
Yes.
And the custody arrangements as well. So you're saying this works in those situations. Which is huge.
In Kansas, where this started, the cases were ordered by the court into the program.
Wow.
They were so high conflict. They were so often in front of the court that the court said, you've got to do something different.
Yeah.
This program works. We have like scientific studies now by different universities in Kansas that have proven the effectiveness of this program. So it works.
And hopefully removing the emotions, the triggering
Yes.
events, looking at it as a business.
Yes.
Helps to make both parties open-minded.
Right.
More flexible.
All of that is, we talk about outward mindset. We talk about shifting your paradigm. We talk about acknowledging your emotions because your triggers make you feel different things. So we create something called I feel statements. And whether our clients use them when they speak to each other, articulating their feelings and how they've got there helps them reset. And that's a huge element. The power of the pause.
Power of the pause. I love it. I love it, Lisa. Well, I was doing some research for our interview tonight, and the Wall Street Journal, as we're segueing, states that women are giving up on marriage. They say women 18 to 40 years old are single as 51.4% of the population of women, up from 41.8% in 2000. 23 years later, 10% more women are single and are wanting to be single. Is this what you're seeing in your divorce work?
So what I see in my divorce work is a larger number of women reaching out to me. But that's because women ask for help more.
Okay, that makes sense.
So at the same time, the statistics don't lie. 70% of divorces are initiated by women.
Wow.
And 90% of divorces of college-educated people are initiated by women. And there are a lot of factors that go into that.
Yeah. It was one. Do you think financial independence is a piece of that? More women are working and wanting careers, so they don't need that financial
I
piece?
think that's part of it.
Okay.
And the idea that women want to be recognized as equal partners, and yet despite the fact that women are working, women still are carrying the bulk of the child rearing responsibilities and not being respected for it. So in the marriage, there is a difficult dynamic because of that. And when women are calling out their own power, to not feel that in their most intimate, close relationship is what is bringing more women to the divorce table. They had different expectations about what marriage would be.
Oh, sure. Sure. I could see that. Are women thinking and preparing for their divorce? Are there things that they're skipping when they're coming up to that decision going through divorce?
So I think people reach the emotional space where they think, I can't stay here anymore.
Sure.
Yeah. First. And then they start worrying, right? So then it's the unknown. They're worrying about what they don't know. They're worrying, is there money that I can't find? They're worrying, how will I live afterwards? Because your whole financial picture changes. So what I do is I help them get an eye on what their budget is, what their family assets look like, and how they can work with that knowledge to get the best resolution for their future and their kids.
That helps our work as certified financial divorce, certified divorce financial analyst. When you're doing that prep work coming into it, instead of like, can I even afford to get divorced? What does my life look like? Can I budget enough? Will I be able to afford my own house or my own place?
Yeah.
For it too. So you're saying they get to that place emotionally, mentally. I am done. I need to leave. And then they're kind of worrying and scrambling.
Right.
To figure out getting their ducks in a row.
Right. At first, they don't know what ducks they need to put in that row.
What do they focus on first?
So they're focusing on, where will I live? Will I have to leave the house? Now, that's a real concern.
Sure.
And that's not the first thing, right? Divorce takes time.
Back up.
Where you live is not the first decision that has to be made. So I help them release some of that fear, some of that terror, and start thinking about, what do we need to know first? And how do we order our divorce so that we're addressing issues in a row? A divorce is not a race. It's a marathon. So
pace yourself.
Pace yourself. You should know, right?
Yes. You're right. We tend to like start out really fast and hard, and then you get exhausted, overwhelmed, worried, and then it kind of fizzles out.
Right.
And then you get triggered again.
Right. So part of what I do with my clients is I help them think about divorce as a practice, right? We take things like an atomic habit, right?
Oh, I love atomic.
I love atomic habits. So we are not going to change everything all at once. And divorce doesn't change everything all at once. If you start working on it and thinking in small bites, it's much more manageable. And that's really the goal. Even when we're talking about our triggers, like taking the power of the pause, acknowledging, doing the body scan. How am I feeling? What is turning on? And how do I refresh myself? And then figuring out how you can solve those problems in your own mind. You're in control of your reactions. So what I do is I help them find the space between stimulus and response so they can move forward. And that's something that I didn't invent that. That was Viktor Frankl in Man's Search for Meaning. He said, that's where we have the power to change. And that's what I work with my clients on.
That's amazing. How about when we've worked with women, they just can't make a decision.
Yeah.
They're indecisive. They flip-flop back and forth. I'm going to stay. I need to get out.
Right.
And it's very hard for us to do the finances because we're constantly switching which scenario we're moving forward in. Right. Does that help those kind of women?
So what I work with in that case is I help them walk down both paths. Right. So let's see, what is your life going to look like if you stay in the marriage? Right. What works? What doesn't work? What can you repair? And have you been trying to repair that for the last 5 years. Because usually it takes 3 to 5 years for a person to decide that, wow, it's time.
That's a long period of time.
You don't want, this is not a decision that happens quickly. You don't want to destroy the family that you know to go to an unknown location. So that's why people struggle with it and go back and forth. So I help people walk both paths.
Okay.
And in one case, and I think I talked about this client in my book, she wasn't ready to take that step despite knowing that her husband had betrayed her because she valued marriage and she valued her family. And they were together for 32 years.
It's a long time.
It's a long time. So we walked that path. What did that look like? How could she be in her integrity if she stayed there? And what she discovered on her own, not because I told her, was that to be in her integrity, she had to say, I'm done. And so that's what ultimately happened. And then we took a look at what is the financial situation and how are you going to make this work for you and your kids and your ex-spouse.
It's huge.
Yeah.
To come to that realization. And you're right. It's one thing to not get along with your spouse,
Right.
but then to disrupt the entire family dynamic.
Yes.
And you think of your in-laws that you might love,
Right.
the extended family, the family trips, the friends dynamics too.
100%.
All of that changing. How about when you see a man or a woman and they're at their bottom? They just got triggered.
Yeah.
Something happened and we see this and a conflict arises. How can they stay, as you say, calm during the storm?
Okay. So first of all, acknowledge that you're not going to feel calm. Right? It's okay.
Give her the pressure. Yeah. The pressure cooker. I will keep it together.
Like you have to keep it together. So what we talk about is when we're triggered, the amygdala part of our brain goes off.
Oh, I love
and
that part. Thank you for talking about that.
Our fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. And that's like, if I could use the hand model of the brain, Dr. Dan Siegel invented this. So the hand model of the brain says, this is our prefrontal cortex.
Okay.
This is our rational thinking mind. But when we're triggered, we flip our lid. Okay. And this is where the fire is. And this is our lizard brain. And it's saying, danger, danger. And we are disconnected now from the prefrontal cortex. So how do we come back? We need to take a pause. We start doing the body check. What is my body scan? What's going on? Do I feel a burning sensation in my chest? Am I breathing heavy? Is my face flushing? What's going on from head to toe? And that gives you the pause. And once you have the pause, now you have the opportunity to make a choice. So that's how I work with my clients. And in that space, we work on an I feel statement.
Okay.
Right? So what is the emotion that you're feeling?
Mm.
And what's underneath that emotion? And what else?
Pissed off.
Yeah.
Angsty.
Pissed off, angry, hurt, insulted. All of these things
Yeah.
triggered. And what is actually happening? What is the thing that happened without using blame language? But what thing just happened? Did you just get a text during dinner with your kids, right? Did you get an email? Did you get a subpoena? So all of these things, okay, when I receive a subpoena that I did not expect, I feel insulted, afraid, nervous, offended, because I value my integrity.
Yes.
I value my value as a mom. I value my intellectual capacity. So all these things can be offended and hurt while you're triggered. So what we do is we identify it, because once you can articulate it, you can now start to find some words.
Sure. It's an emotional maturity.
Yes.
That comes from taking that pause.
Right.
Reacting differently.
Yeah. Reacting differently. And it's a practice. So practicing noticing that you're in a trigger so you don't react.
Yes.
And then practicing, how am I feeling? What's going on in my body? And then the next step is, how am I feeling emotionally? and then articulate why. So we're in our purpose. We're in our why. Our Simon Sinek, start with why.
Yes.
And that's how I work with my clients to help them recalibrate, to recenter so that they feel more empowered.
By the way, you can do that with anything. It just have to be an ex that's bothering you or triggering you. It could be something happening with your kids or an in-law, your own mother, parent, whatever the
Right.
case may be. That's a great tool just to have in your
Yeah.
toolkit
Yeah.
to remain calm. And you've said in the past, and I want to make a point of it tonight because it really made an impact on me, that who do you want to be during the divorce? How do you want to show up for you and for the kids? Who is it that you want to be? And then looking back, what do you want to think about yourself through that divorce process?
Yeah. So that's a big piece of it. It's like, how do I want to show up? And sometimes we feel like we want to show up like the attacker, just like our soon to be ex. And that's what we think we want. But I invite my clients to roll it back to say, who are you? When you're not in alignment with your own values, you're not presenting your best self. And so if you want to be your best self and you want to be able to look back and feel proud of how you showed up, that's when I invite my clients to say, what are the values that hold you up?
Sure.
And what are the values you want to give to your children? Because when they see you show up, then they're going to learn that you don't always have to be in a conflict.
Yes. And they're so observant. It doesn't matter what age they are picking these things up.
Yeah.
I was just speaking at Career Day at our local school, and I asked, how many of you have witnessed your parents fight about money? Every kid's hand went up. They're watching, they're observing, they're picking these things up. So it's amazing. Always thinking about the kids and how do you want to show up for your kids?
Yeah. It's a big
Later.
thing. And when you are worried about the money,
Yes.
it's hard to show up in your best self because you're blaming yourself for not knowing things. That's a huge piece of it, right?
Blaming yourself for not knowing things. So you're judging yourself. You're ashamed.
You're ashamed. And so one of our phrases that I use over and over again is trade judgment for curiosity.
Ooh, get curious.
Get curious. Like, so why am I ashamed? What did I think I was supposed to know? What tools did I have to actually know them at that moment?
Mm-hmm.
And notice how you have different tools now. Like if you have different tools now you can move forward. Instead of being angry at yourself for your past, let's settle into the present and start looking at your future.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I love that, Lisa. I want to switch gears here a little bit because we are Women Behind the Millions.
Yes.
What does an average divorce cost these days? Is it impacting the millions?
So it's definitely impacting the millions. And I can't say what an average divorce costs. I mean, I've seen numbers that are like in the 20 to 30 per person. But I've also seen divorces that cost in the millions, in the hundreds of thousands. And when you start fighting, you're not thinking, like your amygdala is going off.
Yes.
And you're not thinking, this is money that could be better spent on my kid's college.
Mm-hmm.
You're thinking, I want to destroy that person.
Yeah.
But in divorce, no one wins.
No.
And people don't always realize that because they're so triggered. They want a win. We live in a society that has winners and losers. But in a divorce, if we want to move forward in peace, then we need to release that paradigm and have a huge paradigm shift.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very true. And looking at in New Jersey, they're saying $7,000 average divorce cost if both spouses agree.
Right.
So no conflict, probably a few mediation sessions, the attorney's looking over and you're moving on. But
Yeah.
is that typical case?
Well, that's not a typical case, but that's a possibility depending on your mediator.
Mm-hmm.
I have rarely seen mediations that move so smoothly. Although I do have one or two clients that have had very smooth divorces because they both agreed on everything.
And they probably were doing the work.
Right.
To get that
Their
place.
children were out of the house. So when you don't have children involved, then things can move smoother because you don't have this future connection that is going to be on a regular basis.
Yes. LegalZoom.com said the average attorney is $11,300. So that's per person, right? Per attorney. You might go through multiple attorneys. I've heard cases where they're on their third, fourth, fifth attorney because they're being very unreasonable. Contest a divorce, $50,000. But here's the kicker, adding in a forensic accountant.
Yes.
So let's say you are on the hunch that there's some shady things going on, or there's a business,
Yeah.
which is huge. Bringing in a forensic accountant, that's going to be several $1,000s.
Yeah.
On the low end, depending on how in depth, how many years back do they need to go?
Yes.
That's huge. But especially with the business, it's going to be worth it to look at a forensic
Yeah.
accountant.
So the thing is, we need to learn not to be afraid. Like, if you need the support of a forensic accountant, yes, find the right forensic accountant and hire them. What is sometimes challenging is when you're in these high conflict divorces,
Yes.
your attorney may tell you that a forensic accountant is going to add $100,000 to your case. And I know that in my case, that's what my attorney said. So that put me in fear. Or my amygdala was going off. I don't want to, so if I lose some money, I'd rather lose that than pay this. But what is the balance? And a forensic accountant doesn't have to cost $100,000. So you're really in a space where a divorce coach can help you find the right professional in the lane you need. So where I have a CVFA that I work with, and I work with you as well, where you can find things before maybe you need that.
Tax returns show a lot.
They show a lot.
Money always leaves a trail too.
Yes. And so that the tax return can open up questions that now you have a direction for the forensic accountant. And that's powerful.
That's very true. Very true. Because you have such a calming energy. So being the guide on the side immediately just brings a calming energy to me as well. But just to sum up here, we're talking about remaining calm, the power of the pause. So taking a moment, what is triggering you? What are the feelings? How can I react differently? But taking that time, getting curious.
Yes.
Don't be fearful, get curious.
Get curious.
Explore options. There's always so many resources out there, and having somebody like you who has the different connections.
Yeah.
So that I trust you. I'm going to know you did the due diligence to find the different mediators, litigators, certified divorce financial analysts, counselors, therapists as well to help. So I can plug into them as I need.
Yeah.
Going through the divorce. And then what do you say to the women who, for them to come out on the other side? What would you give to them?
So the future is brighter than you think.
Ooh, that's a good one. I love that.
That's the bottom line. You don't know what you don't know, but it can be amazing.
Yes.
So instead of looking at the future as a black hole, look at it in light. Like, future is positive. And so moving out of a difficult situation can be a blessing. And that's why I encourage people to stop judging themselves, because the future is better than you might expect.
And this is temporary.
Yes.
What you're going through right now is temporary. She said the future is much brighter. I saw that with my grandmother when she was freed from him, and it all worked out financially for her. It was a huge shift.
Yes. One thing I also want to share is that there is a difference between thinking about getting as much as you can and thinking about getting what you need to launch your future. There are two different things. And once you are in control of your future, there's so much opportunity. So instead of fighting for every last dime, fight for your future.
For your future. Fight for what you need and take the time to think about what you need.
Yes.
Do that work. What are your goals? What are your aspirations? What do you want to see for that next chapter? And we can all agree that the woman you are after divorce, post-divorce, is not the woman you were going into it.
Yes.
You're stronger, smarter, more resilient than you've ever thought you'd be.
Absolutely.
As well. And you're a testament to that, Lisa, and sharing your own story and being vulnerable with it. So thank you so much for being on Women Behind the Millions, for your stories and Divorce Decoded and these amazing tools that you gave us tonight.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure.
Thank you so much, and we will see you. Thank you, Money Queens, all of our watchers, viewers for supporting us here at Women Behind the Millions. We can't wait to see you on our next episode, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hey, Money Queens, looking to get your wealth to that next level, 7, 8, 9 figures? Follow us on Instagram at PinkFixMyMoney and at Women's Wealth Boutique for more millionaire money tips.